The Odyssey vs. Dune 3, Nolan vs. Villeneuve in 2026. I never knew I wanted this so bad. The upcoming box office battle between Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey and Denis Villeneuve's Dune. Part 3 is going to be a true cinematic event in 2026. While nearly half a year separates their release dates, with The Odyssey releasing on July 17, 2026 and Dune Part 3 coming out on December 16, 2026. Both films are set to be the biggest of the year, even if they won't be squaring off head-to-head like 2023's historic Barbenheimer Showdown. With Nolan still riding high off his Best Picture winner Oppenheimer and Villeneuve at the peak of his career, their 2026 release should be monumental. People compare Nolan and Villeneuve a lot based on their love of film, the epic scale of their movies, and mastery of the filmmaking craft. So this will be an interesting comparison to see in 2026. The Odyssey will adapt the classic Greek epic poem by Homer, which is one of humanity's oldest stories. Dune Part 3 will actually adapt the second book of Frank Herbert's Dune series, Dune Messiah, and will be a direct sequel to the Oscar-winning Dune. Part 2. The Odyssey and Dune Part 3 will almost certainly cause some 2026 award season buzz, setting them up to compete at the box office and the Academy Awards. The Odyssey and Dune Part 3 will both feature performances by Zendaya and Robert Pattinson, setting up massive years for them as well. Since Nolan and Villeneuve are considered two modern masters of auteur cinema, there will be inevitable comparisons between The Odyssey and Dune 3, even though they will not be released at the same time. The Odyssey is poised to be a true cinematic feat on the level of Nolan's recent and classic works, ranging from his iconic Dark Knight trilogy to his original films Inception and Interstellar, and his historical epics like Dunkirk and Oppenheimer. For Nolan, it doesn't get much bigger than adapting an incredibly influential work like The Odyssey. As for Dune, Part 3 should carry the momentum and critical acclaim of Dune. Part 2 on its back, its release is just as big, if not bigger, than The Odyssey. Nolan himself called Dune Part 2 Villeneuve's own version of Empire Strikes Back, which adds even more pressure to ensure that Dune Part 3 won't end up like the less favorable Return of the Jedi. Dune has long been considered to be a difficult book to adapt for the screen, as evidenced by the late David Lynch's attempt in 1984. Villeneuve, however, defied the odds with his impressive rendition in 2021, before making one of the best sci-fi movies ever with Dune Part 2 last year. Both of the Dune movies have been critically acclaimed, receiving Rotten Tomatoes scores of 83% and 92%, respectively. That said, their box office performances haven't necessarily reflected their quality. 2021's Dune suffered from pandemic-stricken box offices, but still pulled in more than $410 million. Dune Part 2 became the seventh highest-grossing film of 2024, earning just under $715 million worldwide. Although some people would call Dune Part 2 the best film of 2024, even better than Best Picture winner Anora, the box office and Academy Awards still seem to undervalue it to a degree. The name Christopher Nolan has enormous box office appeal, similar to Quentin Tarantino, David Fincher, and Martin Scorsese. That alone should fill seats when The Odyssey releases next summer, although it would have to be just as good, if not better, than Oppenheimer to achieve its $976 million box office total. The Dune franchise is still somewhat niche, despite being one of the biggest blockbusters of 2024, while Nolan could direct a movie about just about anything and people will still go to see it. Additionally, Nolan has directed 5 movies that grossed more than $700 million, whereas Villeneuve has only directed one. The Odyssey will undoubtedly be great, as with every Nolan film. The only real question is how great it will be. He's adapting a tale as old as time and one of the few Greek stories that actually have a happy ending. It's epic but predictable in its telling of a classic hero's journey. Dune. Part 3, however, features Paul Atreides, who was a hero in the first two films, in a new, darker light, painting him more as a complex anti-hero.